and City Hall is up. So thank you, sir. Yeah. It says Owl Pro. Okay. Yeah, folks are coming in now. So I've got Michael and Chicken Fried. So I'll ask that question. Can you folks hear me currently?
I do hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear Michael as well.
Awesome.
Officer Frey is waving his head yes, he can hear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, bye.
So did Rick get that started for us then?
Actually, I started it.
Oh, you did? Okay, thanks.
Rick was going to try to VPN in and Wi-Fi was not fast enough, so. And I apologize. It turns out Zoom has instituted a new security protocol. And so it doesn't actually send the meeting code, is sent in a separate email. So I apologize for that confusion.
That was just for starting it, right?
Right.
So everyone should be able to follow the link that was in the agenda. I mean, that's how I got here. It did change, as I understand, for May, I think. I forget when, but yeah, there was a new link. We'll just hang on and see if anybody shows up. And thank you for being here, Art. Sorry for the delay.
I expected David Roy, who's a Hill Street resident, lives at the corner of Hill and Liberty. He wanted to come and talk about truck traffic. And I saw his bicycle outside. I thought he was coming in. I might run out to see if he's trying to find his way in.
Sounds good.
Art is going to take care of that running for me.
I just realized that in my haste, I typed agendar, like I'm from Appalachia. In truth, yes. My big problem is saying file instead of file. It's really hard not to.
One of the beauties of dialects.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how much you know about Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh has a very unique one. But I won't get into it. Don't worry.
So I don't know if folks happen to have been out on Washington Street today.
I happened to.
And there was a small bit of miscommunication. We were going to do an asymmetric placement there, and it was going to be on the side towards Hill Street. But we laid it out on both sides, and my foreman laid it out and said, "Hey, there isn't enough room for the street if I put these in at 8 feet from each side." I said, "Okay, well, we'll cut them back, but let's put them in so that it narrows it up." And what we have there now is two 13-foot lanes, and we're terminating the shoulder at the crosswalks. And head signs are in, some granular material is in to back up the curb. And I didn't get over to Merchant Street, but I'm hopeful that while we had the mix, we actually did some of those as well. I'll do that after this meeting.
Sounds good. I figure we'll get that in the update for next month, right? Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I did go out and observe the rush hour traffic going through there, and it does, subjectively, it appears to have a traffic calming effect. So, I mean, you'd expect, and it seems like it does.
I was trying to get a picture of a tractor trailer meeting a vehicle right in that, because it actually happened while I was watching.
Interesting. Uh-huh.
And there was room enough for them to both proceed without any real difficulty. There was about 3.5 feet between them, plus 18 inches or so between the wheel of the truck and the bulb out. So a person would be comfortable standing, 3 or 4 feet back inside the bulb out, waiting for traffic to stop.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the feedback is on it from residents. I don't know. Nobody seems to be joining. Let me see. I don't have another email from anyone. Oh, I see. So yeah, Tina just sent an email that says not working. I'm going to send her just a follow-up email. There just ends up being 3 of us. It's not enough for quorum anyhow. We'll try to chip away at it. Oh, hey, look at that. All right. I was speaking of you, but I didn't realize you were here already because you're on mute. Sorry about that. Well, like I was ruminating to myself while I was looking at the email. If there's only 3 of us, we don't have a quorum, and we'll have to postpone. So hopefully, was Joshua the last one who said he was gonna come? I think so. Well, I figured that anybody who is intending to come has probably seen the flurry of emails, and either they're going to respond to those or they are not, and we'll just have to hold off. I feel like we started a little bit late. Maybe give it to 6:55, or is that too long to wait for not doing anything?
I support waiting just because of the confusion with the start of the meeting. I apologize again.
Oh, it's if I'd looked sooner, I would have noticed it too. But I was just I don't know. I'm out of the habit of making sure everything's going smoothly at the start. Well, I think we could consider, if we don't have the member of the public here for the Hill and Liberty, it's a location that we considered before I was a member of the committee, but without action. So we considered traffic at that. You said Hill and Liberty, right, Bill?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we can. I think it's still on our backlog as something to address, but we can make sure that we get it on an agenda in a future meeting.
I was thinking that if he was present, he could ask to add it as a comment from the audience.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was thinking that to give it our full attention, since we've already looked at it, maybe it makes sense to look at it with an eye toward some specific action. Yeah, I think what we can say when I say we, the tack before me was considering removing the stop signs, I recall. And residents, myself included, showed up and were like, hey, please don't.
In fact, that was his request of me was, can I remove the stop sign on Hill Street? And I had explained the interest in making it safer for pedestrians. And his concern was when you stop trucks, you end up with diesel emissions there. And I understand that, but you know, the balance question, and again, the tack you consider is the safety probably outweighs the inconvenience.
And there might be other safety interventions that we could do that didn't require vehicles to stop. I mean, I think that, you know, like bulb outs and signs for the crossings would be, you know, probably more effective for pedestrian safety than a stop sign. But I think that the reason for the stop sign is probably the bus route, like, you know, like why is it actually there? Because I think just to make the crosswalk safer, I'm not sure if that's well, it's a question of warrants, I guess. But anyway, if when it gets on our agenda, we can jump for it.
So I did send a quick email to Joanne and asked if she could join us. I haven't gotten an answer.
Yeah, Joanne cannot. She said that she is out. I think she was the only person who responded in the negative. And I got responses in the affirmative from everyone who's here. And I think Joshua also. And so I don't know what Giuliano was thinking.
I actually think Giuliano may have resigned his seat on the TAC.
This I didn't know.
Well, I didn't realize it, and I'm thinking back to, I saw 6 different versions of the committee listings last week. And I think one of them, I saw that Giuliano was resigning from this and remained on the cemetery committee and path routes and trails.
Well, I'll make a note of that.
I believe they actually added another person at their meeting, and his name is escaping me at the moment. It's a younger gentleman, probably in his 20s, early 20s, who was excited about basically seeing improvements in our transportation system in Barre, and it'll be in last week's minutes from the City Council. I'll follow up on that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're you know, we're not playing with a full deck, or as it were. So we're really just trying to do as best as we can. Well, I figure if there's a new member, I really dropped the ball by not making sure that they received the you know, the agenda and packet. So I don't know. I try to stay on top of the council minutes, but I have not recently. I was relying on Jody sending them to me. I get, you know, that's easy to rely on many things that you know, more reliable if you just did it. So I got to stay on top of those minutes. Well, it's 6:54. I think that we can pretty much assume that nobody else is going to show up. Sorry for consuming so much of everyone's valuable evenings. We'll last time around, we were going to have an invite go out from the city to make sure that the meeting was on everybody's calendars. This time around, I will send out an invite from me, but I will try extra hard to make sure it doesn't contain a wrong video link like the last one I sent out. And that way, my feeling is it's way more likely to get people to show up for the meeting if it's on their calendars. All right. Well, I still got 6:54. I was going to wait for it to tick over before I officially called it. Oh, there we go. All right. No meeting tonight, guys. If anybody wanted to say anything in a non-meeting capacity, that's totally all right.
Tina's hand is raised.
I think she just is your hand up? Or?
Yes, yep.
Oh yeah, go ahead and talk. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I meant anybody could talk. There's no meeting, so there's no rules. It's just
the thing.
it's
I
just
don't
people
know what the
talking.
rules are.
Oh
I
no,
have
no,
a
it's
lot to
okay. Yeah,
learn.
yeah. If I call it to order, then it's like Robert's
Okay,
Rules of Order in
okay.
quotes, but we're pretty
And I read all
informal
that,
about
but I have a
Go ahead.
lot to learn. I
No,
read
no,
that, but I have a lot to learn. The
It
one
is
thing
okay.
that I saw, I don't know how to add things to the agenda or address things, and this may be a moot point, and Bill may be able to speak to it. I don't want to hold up anybody's time, but in the Barre resident chat, there's been a lot of blah 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 about this, that, and the other thing. But one of the things that I did agree with was how it's structured when you are going. I'm trying to think if it's east to west, going south, north, east, west. But when you're coming to the intersection by Mr. Z's and you're headed to the belt line, and someone complained about you can only go right or straight and left in the left lane. And I have to agree that seems the left lane is straight or left only. The right lane to go, I'm trying to think of my east and west. So Mulligan's is on your left, you're at the intersection. And you can only go straight or left to go back up towards South Main Street. And you can only go on the right lane to go to North Main Street. And I'm sure there's a reason for that change, but I have to agree, I've cheated too and gotten in that right lane and gone straight out of frustration because it backs up so bad. So I don't know if that's something to address or that there was a good solid reason for that change. That's the only thing I wanted to bring up at roundtable.
It's an interesting question. Oh, we can't hear you though. So.
I had muted myself so that I wouldn't interrupt others. So I need to go back and look at that intersection design. And the reason that when it's structured like that is so that the right-hand queue cannot be closed. So the right turn on red is always available. And so that's why that right-hand lane does not have a straight arrow on it. And I don't know if there was a problem or if it was just an initial design. So I can't remember when that intersection was initially built. There certainly is the capacity for 2 lanes to go straight because there's 2 lanes on the other side of the intersection. But normally when it's a right turn only, it's because if you look at a percentage of the traffic on that leg of the intersection, a sufficient percentage of it is taking that right turn, that you reduce the overall queue length by keeping that right lane released. If you capture it, you'll stack both lanes up and you can't relieve that right-hand turn. Typically, it's going to be more than 20% of the traffic is going right. And so it's worth getting rid of that. If the number is less than that, there really isn't a reason to limit it to a right turn only. But I need to go back and I can look at the timing on the signal to see if there's anything in that timing that also suggests that same issue. But I'll go back and look. I don't have a sound reason to say, yeah, I know just why it is. I could only speculate.
Yeah, I would wonder if the probability of a left turn is probably what makes the decision there. But somebody turning left is going to wait through a whole cycle often.
And so do the people wanting to go straight, unless
Right,
they
exactly.
hook a
Yeah.
right and then they go down to the bulb out by North End Deli. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, anyway, that's the only thing I wanted to bring up. But besides that, we can all drop off.
I'll make a note of that too for I know Bill's looking into it, but just to make sure that it's on both of our lists. All right. Yeah. Thank you. You're muted again, Bill. Sure.
Thank you. So one of my thoughts was I would actually leaflet the Elmore and Glenwood residents for a meeting where we might take action so that they would have a chance to come to the committee. What do folks think of that?
I think that that is a great idea. I love reaching out more to get the public informed about what we're doing. It's you know, it's an ongoing challenge to you know, to have that in addition to, you know, planning the topics. But really, yeah, just the agendas getting posted aren't enough. So thank you. Well, I guess that's it, everyone. We try to get bigger group of people confirming for next meeting, so we'll be sure to have a quorum and be able to do our business. All right, have a great evening, folks. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you all.
Enjoy the heat.
We're gonna have to find something.